Good afternoon, everyone. It's my honor to be here. I'm Dave. I'm from the Philippines, and I am at ICU for 2 months doing some research fellowship. I am under in a United Board fellowship program. This is actually my last week, and I'll be leaving soon, but I'm so happy. It's a learning opportunity to me to present this solar project in our university. I am not directly involved in this project, but being the dean in one of the colleges in the university, it is our moral obligation to be familiar and to get acquainted with initiative like this for sustainable development and for caring the mother nature and the environment in general. Before telling you about our humble solar panel project, let me tour you about our university so that you can appreciate why we have to install or why we have this initiative in our university. Our university is 100 years old already, founded by American Presbyterian missionaries, and we started, it's a school for boys. We started with 15 boys way back in 1901. Our university, if you see this, this is the oldest structure or building in the university, and that is recognized as one of the national landmark in our country. So if you happen to visit the university, or I mean in the Philippines, you can see a lot of posters about this building because this is recognized by the National Historical Institute in 2002 as a one of the national landmark in the country. We are on the central part of the Philippines. We are away from Manila, if you are familiar in Manila. We are also away from Mindanao, if you are aware what's happening in our country right now. We are on the central part, and it's a very quiet city. Our university is situated in almost 100, close to 130 population city, and it's a small city in one of the provinces in central Visayas, Philippines. Our city is one of, in terms of class, it's actually a third class highly urbanized city. Our university is a 62 hectares campus dotted with over 300 acacia trees. So there's a lot of environment, green all over the campus. It's similar to ICU. Over 7,000 student population from basic, from preparatory up to post graduate school, for over 300 international students from 50 countries and 407, to be exact, faculty members, and almost 300 staff. And we have 18 schools and colleges, and my college, College of Computer Studies, is one of those, for at least 54 academic programs. Programs related to the environment, we have a lot. To be more specific, we have Masters of Science in Environmental Science, and we also have Master of Science in Environmental Policy and Governance. And our university, although it is a Protestant school, almost 90% are Catholics, and a good number of Muslim students in our university. If you happen to Google, there is this survey online, and our university is recognized as number 47 as the most, among the 50 most beautiful Christian college and university campuses in the world. So it is a long history of protecting the mother environment and for for taking care of our environment. Just to highlight, of course, I will not explain each of these, but I just want to highlight to you that the vision of the university since its beginning is not only to educate young minds, but also to protect the well-being of the society. Equated to that is the environment. So being the dean in Silliman University, it is always our moral responsibility that we always take care of the environment in all decisions that we do, in the leadership or in any decision that we take in our college, even during academic planning and others. So the solar project. It's basically, currently, we're spending an estimated of 3.2 million or 84 million yen annually for power. And I'm sorry. And that's basically the reason that the university trying to save. And the peak time actually in our university is from 9 o'clock in the morning up to 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and we are about consuming from 1 megawatt to 1.9 megawatts of that peak hour. And that will actually translate to 45 or about 100 million yen per annum in terms of consumption of the electricity of the entire university. So basically, there are two main reasons. One, of course, so that the university could save, and second one is, of course, this is also our obligation to respond to the initiative on the global climate change issues. And the need for power and corresponding cost is expected to rise in the future, and in terms of rates as well as consumption. And even more so when the student population is expected to increase from about 10,000 to 14,000 by 2022. Why 2022? It is a long-term plan. It's basically it's a nationwide term planning in many universities, because the 2022, that's gonna be the full implementation of our K-12 implementation. If you notice, here in Japan, you've been implementing K-12 senior high school, but in the Philippines, we just implemented our grade 11 just last year. So that means we will have a full cohort of enrollees by 2022, and the university is expecting to raise our population from the existing, currently we are close to 10,000 to 14,000. And that would also entail additional resources, additional equipment and facilities to accommodate that expectation. So this is basically, we always proud to, because we're one of the few universities in the Philippines implementing a solar panel project, because of course, investment issue, and at the same time, some challenges in the regulations, national regulations in the solar project implementation. So let me quote to you as an academic institution, the use of alternative sources of energy to lower our carbon footprint will set an example for others to hopefully follow and to actually demonstrate the university's commitment on sustainable energy and environmental conservation. That picture was taken during the launching. It was blessed. This is the rooftop in our auditorium. That's our president. Our president is an expert, is an environmental expert, an expert on environmental policy and governance. He has been also a consultant with many international agencies as far as climate change movement and sustainable development movement is concerned. Let me quote during the launching. This project is about walking the talk. We're showing that Silliman cares about the environment vis-a-vis to the vision of the university. This is Silliman's way to immediately respond to just concluded, which was actually last year, the climate change conference in Paris, where the world has committed to greater steps toward renewable energy. What I know is our university got an invitation to attend this conference to think about on how to proactively plan towards climate change, climate change activities and initiative. It is basically a partnership it's from a Filipino-American company called First Solar Orion Energy Solutions. Similar to the former speaker, there are a lot of challenges along the way. And there are so many things that been happening after 1 year of implementing our first phase of the project. According to the president of the first Orion, the solar panels are built to last 25 to 40 years and designed to withstand typhoons. You know that the Philippines had just hit also with a super typhoon, the international name Haiyan, and most of our buildings are high. So those are one of the issues also if those solar panels are secure enough. No, not just only the instrument or the material, the equipment, but also the learners or the entire academic community. During the testing, as I've mentioned, we just launched this last year, August of last year. We're still on the first phase of our implementation. Result of the testing showed that the university had immediately saved as much as 30 kilowatt of power from use of the solar panels against its usual electric consumption over the same period. It might be too small for many of you who have been implementing big solar panel projects, but for us at Silliman, that's already a milestone. Considering from a perspective of a developing country and a university that's away in Manila, and a university who is very much protecting the Mother Earth and the nature in general. And some of the updates of the first year of implementation, actually initially the university is planning to put up a 1.2 megawatt before 2020. And this initially also, it was under build. It was under a agreement with the provider, build, operate, transfer arrangement where the university don't invest that much. And along the way, there are so many challenges happening, and these are what's happening as of the moment, as of the writing of this slide. During the first phase, we installed solar panels in the rooftops of 3 buildings around the campus. Initially, it is planned to put up 17 buildings out of 100 buildings in our university. And as of the moment, it's still very little. There's 210 kilowatt capacity total. Initially, it is planned to put up a 1.2 megawatt, and it was hopefully to be one of the biggest school-based solar power in the Southeast Asia, hopefully. And the power generated by the solar facility amounted to, since August 2016 to April 2017, amount to 173 kilowatt per hour. That translates to a saving to the university. It may be not much, but for a university like our university, that's really, really a big deal to our administration and to the entire Silliman academic community. And it's basically a commitment. It is a commitment for the university because the administration really, together of course with our board of trustees, is committed to continue of what had been initially planned a year ago. Thank you very much. Arigatou gozaimasu.